One of the biggest stresses for real estate investors right now is finding good deals, especially in today's market where it feels like finding good deals is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Of course, that's not true. And I'm going to share with you several ways that you can find great deals right now. And pro tip, all these methods don't cost any money. These advanced tips will help you uncover the best opportunities out there. So let's get into it. When you think about finding real estate deals, it costs you either your time or your money. And so the methods we're going to talk about won't cost you any money, but you will have to fund them appropriately with your time. And so just because these methods are free, it does not mean that it's not going to be hard or take work. You are going to have to put in the effort to find the deal if you're not spending money to find the deal. All right, one of the first methods is one I'm sure everybody's heard of, but are you funding it appropriately with your time? And that is looking for distressed properties. And let me say this, when we're talking about distressed properties or finding deals in general, what we're looking for is not houses, people. We are looking for situations. We need to find a situation where someone would need to sell their home or want to sell their home at a discount. Because if you don't have a situation that calls for you to want or need to sell your home at a discount, then you don't need investors like us. You need a real estate agent to go help you sell that property for retail value. So when you're looking for distressed properties, what you're really saying is, I'm looking for properties that need a lot of work, because if properties need a lot of work, there may be a seller attached to that property that doesn't want to do that work, or maybe can't afford to do that work, or for whatever reason would rather let somebody else go do that work. We get to be that somebody else. That's that investor that can come in and buy it at a discount so that we can do that work and then monetize that property at its highest value. So looking for distressed properties is, in a sense, looking for the situation. And so when we think about distressed properties, there's tons of places you can find those. One of the ways I find a lot of my deals is still, to this day, old school driving for dollars. Literally driving around the neighborhoods that I'm interested in and identifying distressed properties. I have over 100 rental properties, and just this last week, I spent a few hours driving around neighborhoods and identifying properties. This is a great way to find good deals, but you have to do it enough. You have to build up a big enough list of distressed properties that if you reach out to those distressed sellers, either through a cold call or a text message or a piece of direct mail, you have a volume of people that will actually produce results for you. If you're just going to drive around and identify 5 to 10 homes and then hope that one of those 5 to 10 people are going to sell you their property at a discount, you're probably wasting your time. Again, this is where a lot of investors fail. They don't do it in enough volume, or they don't fund that strategy with enough of their time. So if you're going to drive for dollars, you need to build up a good list of distressed homes. We're talking 500 to 1,000 or even more properties. It's going to take you a lot of time to drive around and identify those, but that's what's going to be needed for you to actually turn those leads into a potential deal. So you've got to do it in enough volume. You've got to fund it with enough time. So drive around. There's tools that make it easy now. You can do this manually or you can do this with tools. It doesn't matter. The point is you've got to find distress. So when you're looking for distress, when you're driving for dollars, what are you looking for? Try to look for the things that would indicate a high cost to fix. So when I'm looking for distress, I'm looking for broken windows, because windows are expensive to replace. I'm looking for window unit AC units, because that could be an indication that your HVAC isn't working. HVACs are expensive to replace. I'm looking for beat up garage doors. Garage doors are expensive and they're unsightly. If you're not fixing your garage door, maybe you can't afford to. And it could be an indication of the level of distress on the inside of the house. I am looking for roofs that are in bad shape. Roofs are expensive. And if your roof is in bad shape, it may be because you can't afford to replace it or you don't want to spend the money to replace it. These are high ticket items that people may not want to bear the expense to replace. And so this is an indication that they may have some level of motivation to take a discounted offer. Again, this takes work and it takes time. So you're going to have to do it in the volume that's going to produce the results. But finding distressed properties to this day still finds me great deals even in this market. Another very underutilized resource for looking for deals is Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or any other type of online bulletin where people can post properties that they have for sale. I know all of you know that these things exist, and I know all of you know that people do post property on there. But again, what I'm talking about is, are you going to fund this strategy appropriately with the amount of time it takes to produce results? And what most people do is they get on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and they peruse the listings and they see that most of them are just retail price and there's no real deals out there. And so maybe a couple of days later, they'll do it again and see the same not great deals out there. And then they go, you know what? There's no good deals out here. And so they stop. But that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about making it a part of your daily or weekly deal searching and allocating an amount of time to it each and every day or week, and doing it no matter what you're seeing out there, because people do post good deals out on these resources. But what happens is, if a good deal pops up, it gets gone fast because the people who are consistently looking snag that thing, they go make an offer and they buy that property and it's gone. And so this is again a timing game. And so yes, it is going to be tedious and boring, and you'll allocate 30 minutes to an hour every other day or every week, and you'll see the same overpriced not deals out there, and you'll be worn down and not want to do it. But that is why you have to systematize it and continue to look, because when that deal pops up, you want to be in front of that deal so that you can jump on it, analyze it, see it, make your offer, because that's how you're going to capitalize on the deals that are out there that pop up on these sites. You're not just going to happenstancically, I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to say it's a word. You're not just going to happenstancically come across the deal on this website. You have got to put in the time and the effort. And one pro tip you can also do is, don't just look at the for sale, real estate for sale sections, but look at the real estate for rent sections. And as you're going through the real estate for rent sections, start looking for ads for properties that are not great. Either the property itself is in not great shape or condition, super dated, old, or the pictures are terrible and it just doesn't look like an inviting place that you would want to live or rent from. Because if those are the types of pictures that are up there advertising for this rental property, you probably have tenants that are applying to live there that maybe may not be the best tenant because it's not the best property. So if you're a landlord and you're looking for a tenant, but you don't advertise it well, the place is in bad shape, you're probably not getting great tenants as applicants. And as a landlord who has tenants, I can promise you bad tenants are a nightmare. And so what you're doing by targeting these bad ads for rental properties is you're looking for landlords that may be willing to sell their property at a discount. And so call the number on the ad for rent and just tell them, hey, my name's Henry. I'm a real estate investor here in XYZ place, and I would love to make an offer on this property. Would you be willing to entertain a cash offer for me to buy this place? You may find yourself talking to a landlord who would love to sell a property. And a super pro tip is do some analysis on the front side to have a ballpark understanding of what price point you might pay for that property. So that way, when you call, you can talk numbers. You can say, hey, my name's Henry. So you got 123 Main Street listed for rent. I actually don't want to rent it, but I'd love to make you a cash offer. I think I could pay somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000 for this property. Is that something you would entertain? Now you're talking money. That's going to set yourself apart, and you might find yourself with a deal on your hands. All right, the next method for finding deals that anybody could do is networking. And I know you're rolling your eyes because everybody knows about networking, but not everybody networks with a purpose, or they do what I like to call intentional networking. Again, it needs to be your focus. It almost needs to be like a job when you think about networking to find deals, because everybody networks, right? And so if everybody networks, how are you going to be the person people think about when they do have a deal to unload? So when you're thinking about networking, you have to be super intentional. The best way to network is not to seek what you can take from people, but seek what you can give. So when you're networking, what you're looking for are the people who could potentially have deals who you could network with. So these are other investors who are doing volume. These are wholesalers who are doing volume. Those are the people you need to be networking with. And what you want to do is A, make sure that every time you see them, they know who you are and what you're doing and what you're looking for. So that means you need to be having conversations with them consistently and letting them know that you're looking for deals. And then you need to put their number into your phone and then schedule follow-up with them. That follow-up can just be text messages, but you got to stay top of mind because everybody shows up to networking events. So how do you set yourself apart? You set yourself apart by seeing if there's any way that you can be of service to them and then providing that value or service without asking for anything in return, and then doing consistent reach out and follow up with them and just texting or calling and just just saying, hey, just wanted to see how you're doing. Have any deals you want to unload? Let's talk about it. This is a very easy thing that you can do, but if you systematize it and you systematize it with enough investors doing volume, that will start to produce fruit for you. That deal flow will start to come. I promise you, if you have an investor doing volume, they probably have a deal or two they wouldn't mind getting off their plate to free up some time or some space, but they have to have a reason to want to sell it to you. And you're going to help build that confidence by consistently showing up for networking events, showing that you're willing to make offers on properties, and then you want to be able to act quickly and get those deals closed. If you can do those things, then other investors and wholesalers will want to send you deals versus everybody else that's just out there networking. All right, the next method is one of my favorites, and honestly, it's not talked about enough because it is a great way to start to build up some lead flow for free dollars, and that is to leverage your local title companies. When you think about a title company, what do they do all day? Title companies are closing real estate transactions. So anytime anybody buys or sells a house, it has to go through title. And that title company is who does the title work and helps get that transaction closed. So if you think about a title company all day long, they are seeing real estate transactions. And so who do you think would know if somebody in their local market is selling off their real estate portfolio? Who do you think would know if somebody in their local market was looking to buy more real estate property? Your local title company is your window into real estate transactions. And so meet with your local title company, have conversations with them, let them know who you are, let them know that you're a buyer, let them know that you're looking for deals because they're seeing people sell deals all the time. If you've got a landlord who's looking to unload multiple properties over the course of a year, your title company probably knows about it because they're in front of those landlords every time they sell one of those properties. And so go meet with them, let them know who you are, talk to them and say, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking to do XYZ deals this year. And if you hear of any landlords selling off properties, or if you hear of any builders who are selling off properties, would you mind just making an introduction for me? I would love to just chat with them and let them know that I would love to be able to buy one of their properties, right? So if your title company knows who you are and what you're looking for, then as they see potential people selling off properties, and all they need to do is make an introduction for you, and then you can take it over from there. I've bought several deals. I would say 3 deals over the last year from a seller who is selling off their portfolio one house at a time. And I got that connection through my title company. My title company saw that they were selling and said, hey, I have somebody who'd potentially buy some of these properties and maybe save you some time so you don't have to list them or fix them up. And she made that connection. He and I started to talk, and now every time he's ready to sell a property, he reaches out to me and I go take a look at it and make him an offer. But all that connection came through my title company. You have to make sure that they understand who you are and what you're doing so that they can make the connections for you. And you need to speak to them in the what's in it for them. And the what's in it for them for your title company is saying, hey, any of these deals that you connect me with that I get, I'm going to close them here at your company, right? They're in a business of getting more business. And so if you could let them know that, hey, I would love to close my transactions here. Or if you have an existing title company you've used to do a couple of closings, well, now you have some history with them to be able to say, I want to keep bringing you business. If you could connect me with some people that might be selling off some properties, I would love to be able to continue to bring you more business. So leverage your local title companies. There's some deal flow waiting for you. Look, folks, these are just some of the ways that you can go out and find great deals right now, even in today's market. There's actually a ton more. We haven't even touched on offering on-market properties or tons of other ways that you could do this. But the good news is I did write a book called Real Estate Dealmaker where I break down all of these methods in a ton of detail to help you get really good at being able to find good deals. So you can order that book at biggerpockets.com/dealbook or just click the link down below and grab your copy right now. So if you're ready to deep dive into any of these methods to get your first or next rental property, then remember to like and subscribe to BiggerPockets so we can keep showing you dope content like this and you can keep getting these insights from these amazing videos. And leave us a comment below. Let us know, are you doing any of these methods or have you tried something different that works? But the one thing I want to leave you with is these are just methods to help generate the leads, but it is up to you to make sure that you are doing all the necessary to work to make sure that you're analyzing these properties, all of them, making offers on these properties, all of them, and then setting up your follow-up, because just because you make an offer doesn't mean they're going to take it right away, but they may take it later on down the line. But you have to have systems for follow-up in place, because there is tons of money in your follow-up. These things are not easy. They take work, but if you're willing to put in the work, you can get really good at finding good deals right now. So until next time, this is Henry Washington, and we'll see you at the closing table.